Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you, no problem.
Yeah. So the basic idea of load balancer to distribute the traffic. Okay. If anyone hearing in the future, I have already explained this one. Okay. So the basic idea of load balancer is to distribute the traffic based on certain rules. So these rules says that based on the configuration of EC2 machine, you distribute the traffic. If a EC2 machine contain high configuration, more amount of traffic will go inside that EC2 machine. If EC2 machine contain the low, then the all rest traffic would go inside that one. Then it comes to the security group and rest of the things work. So before coming, the amount of traffic, kind of traffic comes into the load balancer is controlled by our security group. So here in this diagram, we are only listening HTTP. So apart from any other calling like HTTPS call or TCP call won't be listened here. Only HTTP calls will be listened. Whereas in case of this auto scaling, this security group will listen only the traffic coming from load balancer, and these traffic are known as TCP traffics, okay, transmission control traffic. So these traffics will be first filter over here. Security group will see if it is TCP, then it will allow the traffics based on the kind of traffic it is coming. Auto scaling will increase the amount of EC2 machine or decrease or scale up, scale down, or there's another term known as scale out. Okay. What is the meaning of these three? Let's understand. Let me create a new page. Okay. So we have scale up.
I have a doubt here. Like, can you
Please.
go to the previous slide?
Yeah, sure.
Here,
Yes.
like after the listener, there is a security group, right? So, what is
Mm-hmm.
the CIDR range for that security group usually give? We give 00 or we define any range for that? Because it's
If you
all
are
almost,
under,
yeah.
if you are under VPC, okay, then you will
Mm-hmm.
define a CIDR range. But here, right now, we are not configuring. We will go with the default configuration of VPC. So here we will configure, only we will give 000, okay, /0.
Mm.
But when we will put this one inside this our own VPC, then we will give a CIDR range. Okay. So right now in
Okay.
this video, our aim is to just cover this load balancer and EC2 auto scaling, so that in future, when we will go through the full diagram of VPC, we will include these two as well. So no need to worry about CIDR right now. Okay, when we will cover that one, I will go through that CIDR and just all of these things. Got it? For now, we
Yeah.
will go with a 00. We'll allow all the traffic which is coming from HTTP protocol. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there are three terms in auto scaling, that is scale up, scale down, and scale out. So scale up basically means increase the configuration. Okay, configuration of the machine. If I'm having only one EC2 machine, it will increase and one EC2 with the configuration like 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, or one CPU. Then scale up means increase the configuration, not add the EC2 machine. So the single EC2 machine would get 4 CPU or 8 GB RAM or 16 GB RAM. Okay, but it will remain one CPU, one EC2 machine. Okay, whereas in case of scale down, not scale down, there is no scale down. Scale in, basically remove the EC2 machine. Okay, remove the EC2 machine. If right now I'm having 4 EC2 machine and the traffic suddenly goes down, scale in will remove this 4 2 and make it, based on the rule, it will make it 2. Okay, EC2. Got it? That is the meaning of scale in. Scale out means adding number of EC2 machine of the same configuration that is available on the system. Initially, whatever the configuration you define, based on the same configuration, it will develop all the EC2 machines if the traffic is going out based on the certain condition. That condition we will look just. Any confusion in these three?
No.
We generally control these two, scale in and scale out. Scale up, we don't do it. Okay, initially, whatever the configuration you define, for that moment, it will remain the same. So scale in and scale out, if we see the diagram, okay. So if you see the diagram, auto scaling, the monitoring one, monitoring CloudWatch will be monitor. So CloudWatch will contain certain conditions. Okay, if the CPU utilization of each EC2 machine increases based on the rules, for example, 50%, then CloudWatch will trigger another EC2 machine. So scale out or scale in. Scale out means adding, scale in means removing of the EC2 instance. Okay. And creating this auto scaling is using the launch template, which we will see later. Any confusion in this diagram?
Can you tell it
No.
once again?
Sure. So till here, I hope you have understood that the security group would only listen HTTP traffic. Okay, will
Yes.
only allow HTTP traffic to load balancer. Okay, once the load balancer get the traffic, this ruler will basically decides amount of the traffic distribution. If it is high amount of traffic, it will distribute to the high configured EC2 machine, and low amount will distribute to the low configured EC2 machine. Once this call goes, then this call goes to this security group. So if any other calling is coming, this security group block. Why? Because it only allow auto this application load balancer calling, the call which is coming from here, and this call comes in the form of TCP, transmission control protocol. So once it comes here, so all the amount of calling which is coming here, if it is utilizing 50%, suppose I make a rule of 50% CPU utilization. So if single EC2 machine having CPU utilization of 50%, this CloudWatch will trigger the alarm, and this alarm will scale out, means add another EC2 machine into this scaling group. If again both of their CPU utilization cross 50%, again one CPU, one EC2 instance would be scale out in this one. Okay, these are
Okay, so
these things
50%
are
is
being
like
monitored
the
by,
threshold.
yeah, threshold. Its threshold is defined by you. Okay, you can make it
Okay,
20, 30, because the lower it
okay,
is, the more 50% is manageable. If you go for 80 or 90%, your EC2 machine won't be working well, because there will be a huge amount of CPU or the processor's utilization. So for
okay.
the better, for the better safe and a healthy EC2 machine, we take it up to 50 to 60%. Great. Any further confusion? Nope.
How will we know like how much CPU to give for each EC2 instance?
For now, we have the rule of scale in and scale out. So it will copies the amount of EC2 machine. So only one time you have to define 50% utilization of EC2 machine. Okay. So the moment one EC2 machine will hit 50%, another EC2 machine would get created and wait for the 50% again. If this one hit 50%, again another EC2 machine would be created, because all of them will be created of same configuration. Okay. So initial configuration you will define. Okay. After that, the copying of the same instance would be taking place. Copying and
That
removing.
initial one, how like in the organization level, how you decide like how much CPU memory to give for the each EC2 instance?
Okay, it's we basically do not reach the in depth of EC2 machine configuration. The thing is, we for the healthy monitoring purpose, we goes up to the 50 to 60%. All the industries, if you see, max they will go for 70%. But if they go further, there is a chance of breaking down of EC2 machine. Okay, so for smooth running, suppose this is my laptop. If I use the 80% memory of this laptop, Furthermore, if something comes, it is start fumbling or anything, it is start not behaving in a correct way. If I want my processor to be cooled down and not to be reach up to its maximum, we want that up to 50% it should be a threshold, 50, 60, 70. If you go further, you won't get the performance. Yeah.
Actually, I got that point. Like the
Mm-hmm.
percentage, I understood, but first like maybe 16 GB of something. Like
Mm-hmm.
for say the
Initial
EC2 instance
configuration.
memory. Yeah, how to decide on that?
Oh, I'll show you just in a couple of minutes. I'll do the hands-on on
Okay,
this one. So the way you
okay.
create EC2 machine, no, it's the same way. I'll show you. Okay. So let me just cover a few things. So auto scaling group, like these are the initials. Imagine these are the initial EC2 instance I'm having. Okay, 6 1. So in this case, what do we do? Suppose minimum size, you have three things you have to define. First thing is the minimum size that you go on removing, but minimum size EC2 machine should be there. This size means the number. Okay. So at least one EC2 machine always be available. Then what is your desire one? Desire one basically the current EC2 machine availability. So currently how many you want? Currently I want two. So two is currently available. If traffic goes down, it will come to one. But if traffic is normal, it will remain two. But if traffic goes up, it will scale out with the two or three. So you have to define the maximum size. If you define five, so based on the traffic, it will scale out all the EC2 machine. Scale out means adding. Okay, adding the EC2 machine. Okay, these three things. This is also we will see. Okay, and about the policies, we will look later. Let's do our hands dirty with this one. Whatever we have studied, let's do the practical. Okay, let's click on EC2 machine. So if we see the diagram, okay, the very first diagram, what is the first thing that you need to configure? Security group, okay, for
Yes.
load balancer. So let's do
Mm.
the security group. We'll go to the security group. Okay, this is the by default one, single security group you will get. Give it a name. For load balancer we are doing, so I'll just write load balancer SG. Okay, same name I'll give in the description, that not to be worried. The default VPC available with us is this one. Okay, inbound rules. So what rules are we going to allow here? Only HTTP traffic, no any other traffic, right? So
Yeah.
I'll go here and choose HTTP traffic. Always remember HTTP by default port range is 80 and I'm
Yeah.
allowing IPv4 000. So all any type of CIDR range of HTTP traffic can come to our load balancer. That's it. Create this group. Okay. In the same way, let's make our second group as well. Before creating load balancer, let's create the security group for auto scaling too at the same time. So we'll go to security group, create a security group, and this is for auto scaling. Security group. Will be civil remains inbound rules. Now here, what are we going to allow? TCP, I told you. The traffic which is coming from load balancer will be a TCP traffic. Okay.
Okay.
So TCP traffic, and we will choose IPv4, not IPv4. Let it be custom and go here and choose load balancer. The load balancer we created just now. This one, right? So all the
Mm-hmm.
traffic which is coming from this load balancer,
Mm-hmm.
which is of TCP, would be handled by the auto scaling. Another rule we will add of SSH, because auto scaling will connect to our EC2 instance through SSH. Okay.
Okay.
So here we are giving the CIDR range 000
Okay.
and create the group. So these two pretty much easy, not too tough. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's go and create our auto scaling group. Create auto scaling. Okay. So the template, create a launch template. See this one, launch template. So this part we are going to do.
Mhm.
This is done by us. We'll go create a launch template. Okay. Cloud auto train. Okay, cloud auto train. Let's give it a name. Same name I'm going to copy and paste in the description. Mhm. This is private. Help me set up the templates and all. So see, now Garima question, whatever is the question, how do we make the initial configuration of our EC2 machine, right?
Yeah.
So here we will get the option of creating your own EC2 machine. So suppose I want to create the Linux, okay, Amazon Linux.
Mhm.
So what kind of AMI you can choose from here, okay? Then instance type, what is your instance type, okay? So I want to go for T23, T2 micro, okay? So suppose I want to go for T3 nano, okay, let it be T3 nano.
Yeah, this one also like the organization will let you
Organization
know,
different, yeah.
or
Based on, I
the
told you
cloud
this one,
engineer should recommend this.
cloud engineer should recommend this because on EC2 machine, what are you going to run?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of application weight, what is the size of your application? Okay, you know how much amount of traffic is coming in your, because you are doing the monitoring things. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
by the statistics and the
So,
data.
may I know how would
Mhm.
you recommend based on the project? Like, we want something in the real time to know, like, how this is important, right? Like, if any
Mhm.
question comes, yeah.
So in general, okay, in general, we create of 8 GB, okay, T3 large in general. If I show you with
Okay.
my own organization one, I should
Mm-hmm.
not say this one. If I go into this one, you get a by default this one. So if I go in catalog and if I choose any Windows machine, if I suppose request this one, okay. So initially VM size by default you get one CPU, 8 GB RAM. Okay, with this one you can run almost all type of applications. But if someone wants, required 4 GB or more than 2 CPU, okay, then in that condition you need to provide, you need to get what is the role, what is the use you want to use for it. So if my application is heavy, generally all the organization go for 2 CPU at least, okay, not to have the threshold point, not to reach that threshold point. They go play safer and go for 2 CPUs if the organization can this one bear the cost of that 2 CPU. Otherwise, they will go for 1 CPU and 8 GB RAM.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So right now I'm having 2 CPUs. Okay, because by default it is giving me T3 Nano in this European Stockholm. Otherwise, in general, you would get T2 Micro as well. Okay, which contain 1 CPU. So by default, see, you are getting 2 CPUs. Okay, so that's the minimum criteria. You can use it. And that's also totally depends upon the kind of website you are handling. If it is my company one, whose product is whose product is about 70-80 GB, then 2 CPU is not enough. They'll go for 4 CPUs. Okay. And if it is graphic based or gaming company, then they'll require more amount high configuration that you will come to know once you
Mm-hmm.
enter the organization. So you can do little bit research, okay, based
Mm-hmm.
on your resume. You can do the research, what kind of a product those companies are doing, okay. If the
Mm-hmm.
product is light, you can get the idea that I should use 2 CPUs with 8 GB of RAM or this much amount of memory. Okay, that we will discuss at the end of our training session. Okay.
Okay.
But you need to do research about the company that you have mentioned in your resume.
Mhm.
Network setting. Okay. So keep here right now. I'm not doing SSH through my system, so I'll don't include any launch template. I'll directly connect with here. Connect here. Network settings subnet already. Whatever the subnet is there. Okay. By default, I'm going with the default one. Okay. Select the security group. We created one security group for our auto scaling. Okay, not the load balancer, auto scaling. So we'll choose that auto scaling one. Okay, and the storage, rest of the things will remain as it is. One more thing, we are going to see our website, right? We will have to see where is our website running and all of these things. So we'll simply use one function, one functionality of this EC2, that is user data, where you can put all your command here. So the moment your EC2 machine will be created, all this command get launched. Okay. So I have that command prepared with me. I'll tell you what does it mean. Just to save time, I created earlier. Okay. So this is a shell command basically. Hash asterisk slash bin slash, this is known as shebang. Okay, which basically tells the command that you are going to enter some kind of a command, okay, below it. Then em update, it will update the system. Okay. Then install, we are going to install our Apache server. Either you write Apache 2 or HTTPT. Okay. Then once we install Apache, we will run it. Okay, we will start systemctl. We will start this Apache server and enable the Apache server. Okay, so that it comes into the function. After that, we are creating a simple message. This message, we will print the IP address, private IP address into our website. Okay, and this file, this message is going to be pasted on our index.html file, which is present at this location. And this location would be available only when you download HTTP server. Okay, because this server include all the files, will show all the files which is inside this folder. Okay, so if it is inside this folder, then it will, this server will show you on your on your browser. Okay, any confusion in this?
No.
Okay, it's simple. You also need to know the shell command as well from your side. Though
Yeah.
it is not a shell command. Okay, if you say I can take a one class of Linux only. Okay, if you guys will tell. So let's create the launch template. View the launch template.
May I know why did you take Apache instead of Nginx?
You can take Nginx also. Apache I just
Mm-hmm.
take because it is most commonly used for HTTP server.
Okay.
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 So if I'm going for HTTP, I generally take Apache. You can go for Nginx as well. That's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Next time if we do, we'll use Nginx.
Okay.
Okay. So this one, Cloud Auto Train, we created this auto scaling group. Now we need to configure this one. Okay. So we'll again go to this auto scaling, create auto scaling, and we choose the launch template that we created. Okay. Cloud Auto Train. The same name you have to provide here. Okay. Then once you're done, then it will ask for your certain, see the security group. We added our security group. Okay. This is the ID of your security group. Okay. Then click next. VPC, this is the VPC. And here is the 3 availability zone. So for now, I'm just clicking all the deploy my application so that it will run faster. You just choose all the availability zone. Balanced best effort, it will cost you. So I'll go with the balanced one. Okay. If launch fails the availability zone, auto scaling will continue to attempt launch in unhealthy availability zone. If one goes down, it will try to run in this one, this one, this one. Whereas in case of this, it will choose the best available one and try to run on that one. Shift your all your data, all your traffic into those availability zone. So these are just created. Earlier it was only one. So they just to earn
What is
some
the
amount.
create?
So
There is
it
a
basically
create a
is
subnet. What is the subnet?
subnet is a smaller section inside a VPC. More about subnet I will cover. Okay. Availability zone, you understand? In one region, you will have 3 offices. Okay. In Mumbai, I have 3 offices. So each office
Okay.
is known as one availability zone. So in Europe, I am having 3 availability zone. Okay. Europe is known
Okay.
as the region. So in one region, I'm having
Right.
We
3.
can have 3 or more, right?
Right now, it's depend on AWS. AWS having 3, so
Oh,
it will show you only 3. Okay. In Mumbai,
okay.
it is having 2, it will show you only 2. It's your choice. You want
Oh,
to choose one or you want to choose 2. Okay. Let's go next. Now, you want to attach load balancer to this one. Right now, we don't have any load balancer. So let's create a new load balancer. We want a application load balancer for HTTP traffic. Okay. The name of your load balancer, let's give an ALB. Okay. CloudTrain 1 ALB is the name of our load balancer. Internal, no, we are taking traffics from outside, so it
internet
should be internet
facing.
facing. Okay. VPC, we have chosen the default one. Port is 80, that's right. Okay. Port 80 is for Apache server as well, remember. So all the application of Apache server runs on port 80. Okay, so that's one more reason to choose Apache. Another is a target group. You have to create a target group for this one, which automatically get created when you choose. So target group TG. Okay. So this basically is a separate for your port number. Okay, a separate target group. So it will target all the HTTP traffic of port 80 into your auto scaling group. Sorry, on your load balancer. Then no VPC lattice attached, let it be. Then we'll just add a health checker. So this will check the health of your auto scaling group and the machines and all. So we'll just add it, health check, and that's it. We'll do the next. Now here comes. Remember we discussed desire capacity, minimum desire, and the maximum desire. So right now desire capacity is 1. Minimum you maintain 1. Maximum if load increases, go for 2. Okay. This you need to do a little bit research about your company, that kind of a traffic they face for such things. Okay. So you will get it easily, not a big deal. Okay.
Will they ask this type of questions in interview?
No. Generally, they will be asking you to design the architecture. Okay.
Okay.
Then they will ask you, why did you choose this? Why did you choose this configuration? Why you added the policies I'll discuss later. So why did you added this particular policy? Okay. So for such reason, based on the architecture you create, they will ask you the configuration settings, which I'll be covering. Okay, no need to worry about that one. Then rest of the things remain same. I'm not attaching any policies right now because I haven't discussed, so I'll not attach it right now. We'll do it later. Let's do next. No tags, please, no notification, and review this one. Okay, and then create auto scaling. So our auto scaling is getting created. So let's click here. See, our instance also got created. We did not give any name. If you wish, you can give T3 Nano, the one that we gave. We also created load balancer while creating auto balance group, which is attached to our auto balance. So this one is attached and it is getting provisionizing. Okay. And then we created the target group. So this is the target group we created, which is based on port 80 HTTP traffics. Okay. One thing you have to change in the setting, if you go here and go to security and then edit this one, security group. See, by default, it is taking the auto scaling security group. But for load balancer, we created a different security group, right? So we will
Yeah.
remove this
Yeah.
one and we choose the load balancer one and save it. Now everything is done. We'll go here, we'll check.
So basically, everything we create also it will be in the EC2 form, like correct,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, in the EC2, your all the things will be taken care in the form of EC2. These are the things that will help your EC2 machines to maintain their health check. If I go to target group, I'll click here. See, one target group is assigned. Zero healthy, zero unhealthy. It means if this target group is healthy, it will show one over here in just couple of minutes. And if it is unhealthy, it will show unhealthy. Means it is not getting created correctly. So until the load balancer is active, it will not show right now. Okay. Once the load balancer is active, which takes little bit time. Okay. Till then, we can see, we can deep dive more into this one. We can see the activity. Okay. So see, we did two kind of activity. First, to create the this one launch of EC2 machine. Okay. And then we updated the load balancer. We created the target group successfully. Okay. So everything done successfully. Target group and load balancer and launch of EC2 machine. Both done successfully. That's why the activity history shows here. If anything fails, it will show failure. Okay. Monitoring task, kind of a traffic you will get on your EC2 machine, you can monitor here. Okay. All the data will be shown here. CPU utilization, disk space, disk read, okay, disk write, all the things you will get here. Let's check our load balancer. Is it active? Yeah, it's active now. So we'll click on this one. We'll click the DNS one and go here. Let's paste it and press enter. So right now it is not allowing us. So just see, the thing is, initially what used to happen, by default, DNS will give you the URL, which is you have set on your load balancer, which was HTTP. But for the security purpose, now it made compulsory to use HTTPS. So our load balancer was not designed for HTTPS, right? It was designed
Yeah.
for HTTP. So if we hit enter, see our website run. And what it is showing? It's showing the, I just wrote a one command in that IP address, private IP address. Let's confirm this one as well. We'll go to our EC2 machine. We'll click on this one. And if you see 172.31.37 to 38. 31.37 to 38. Okay. So we configured our EC2 machine. So this is the half 60% of our attaching our load balancer with our EC2 machine. Now let's configure the policies. Okay. So in case of auto scaling, you have three policies. Okay. First one is dynamic scaling policy, predictive, and scheduling. So dynamic contain three: tracking, scaling group, step scaling, and simple scaling. Let's see one by one. What are these three? First one is the target scaling group, which basically main aim is increase or decrease the current capacity of your group. Right now, group is containing two. So it will increase or decrease based on the CPU utilization. See, I have given, there are 5 metrics. Not only CPU utilization, based on network coming, network going out, and request count per target. So these are the other 4, but the best we go for CPU utilization. So if any CPU EC2 machine CPU utilization cover 50%, you from the max one add 1, which is scale out 1. Okay. Who will take care of this one? CloudWatch will take care of this one. Okay. So this metric we define in the CloudWatch. Understood? What is the meaning of target scaling group? Which is most used. Target scaling group is the most used one. Okay, it's simple and easy to configure. So the moment you create target scaling group, CloudWatch will be automatically get created, which will handle all these things. And these three we did while creating the auto scaling group, right? Minimum capacity, desired capacity, and the maximum capacity. In our case, it was 1, 1, and 2. Understood? Target scaling. Scaling one by
Yes.
one the moment it hits the 50%. In case of step scaling, you define an average. In between, if the CPU utilization coming from 30 to 40% of these two, then add only one. If these two crosses 50 to 60%, then add two EC2 machine. Or if these two crosses 70 to 80 machine, then add two more. Okay, 2 or 3, whatever you define. So in this way, you give a range, not a particular percentage number instead of a range. The moment CPU utilization comes under these two range, one EC2 machine would be added. And it remain added until it hits 40. The moment it cross 40 and comes to 50 or between 50 and 60, it will add two more. Again, it crosses this and comes on between this range. Again, it will add two more. Like this, step by step. Any confusion?
No.
Okay, you need not to create CloudWatch. It will create it automatically. That we'll see. Then comes your simple scaling group. Okay, increase or decrease the current capacity based on the single scaling adjustment. Okay, its main aim is, see, in the first case, we did not define the amount of EC2 machine to be added when the our CPU utilization hit 50%. But in the third case, we are giving add two EC2 machine. That's the difference. We are adding 2, 3. It's this one is totally on you. Okay. So the moment CPU utilization hit 50%, you will add two EC2 machine. Okay. This will be created by CloudWatch. Understood? All three? Any confusion? First one was adding one by one. Second was adding based on the range. Third one is adding amount of EC2 machine based on the CPU utilization. And that amount is controlled by us. Roshan and Sumir, all clear?
Yes, we got it. Yeah.
Okay. The third one is the predictive scaling. So predictive scaling group basically sees your previous machine utilization, that if
Okay.
80% hit in the previous case and you added one, so in this turn, when the next time 80% will hit, it will add another one. So here you will not mention any metrics, not CPU utilization or anything. It will take your previous data. Okay. So it is based on the historical data from the CloudWatch. Understood? Least
Yeah.
use. This one is least use. Okay. And then comes our scheduled scaling. Like it happens now. In the morning, I have huge traffic, and in the afternoon, I have low traffic. Generally, in case of you can say a live match is going on. So in that
Yeah.
case, we know the timing of match. So I know that time the traffic would be at its peak. So what I'll do a scheduled. I'll keep a day time and add 5 EC2 machine at that moment. Okay. So this is what we can do. This is the schedule scaling. Clear? Let's quickly do one. We'll go to auto scaling. We'll click on the CloudWatch. We'll go to everything is got a new name. Instance management. You can manage your instance. Automatic scaling. Here it is. First one is the dynamic scaling, in which you get 3 types of dynamic scaling: target, step scaling, and the what was the last one? Simple scaling.
Simple.
Yeah. And then we get second one was the predictive based on the historical data, and the third one was the scheduled one.
Scheduled. Okay.
Okay. So right now let's go for the target one. I'll just click on create a dynamic. So you will get 3: target, tracking scaling group, step scaling, and simple scaling. Let's go for target. Pick the name of policy. Let it be the target. CPU metrics. See, you are getting a lot of CPU metrics, right? So for now, I'll use CPU utilization. How much? Let it be for me. Let's keep it 20%. Okay. Instance warm up, 300 seconds it will take to warm up, and then it will create it. Let's create. So desired capacity is 1. Okay. Scaling limit 1 to 2. That is the minimum and maximum we choose. Okay. And the desired capacity, that's the one we choose. Okay. These are certain parameters that as required to maintain the average CPU utilization at 20%. The moment I said 20, cloud.
Watch.
Okay. CloudWatch would get created at that moment if you click on all alarm. Okay, it got created. 2 CloudWatch got created. What is the meaning of 2? 2 means the first one, if you see, CPU utilization is less than 18. Okay, for 15 data points within 15 minutes. It means it will scale out. Scale in. Remove the EC2 machine from the auto scaling group because CPU utilization is less than 18. Okay, if it is greater than 18, okay, then what it will do, it will scale out, means it will add it more EC2 instance. Okay, so currently it shows insufficient data, means right now no target is hitting. So right now we are in this range and this is ready, this is on the peak. The moment this condition satisfied, this okay will convert into active. Okay,
Okay.
so that's how the things work. Any confusion? So it's totally based on your traffic data. Okay. So the
The
moment you increase the
CloudWatch alarms will automatically create or?
yeah, this one based on the kind of policy you choose, it will get created.
Mhm.
Okay. We have
Mhm.
another policy of custom CloudWatch. Okay, in that same policy.
Mm.
So you can go for a custom one, or you can create a separate create alarm. Okay. We will look into this one more on the later classes. But right now, this is how it get created, and these are the certain parameter conditions. Understood? Any confusion?
No, clear.
Mhm. So understood how will you attach your application with auto scaling and load balancing? Okay,
Yes.
great. Let me go and delete everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Till then, any confusion, any question, feel free to ask.
Sure. No.
Take time. It'll take 1-2 minutes.
If you delete
Just
EC2 instance, all the security groups automatically delete or what?
no, nothing will be deleted. Okay.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Everything will
Only
remain
about
as it
the,
is. Yeah.
yeah,
You are
Mhm.
just
the
removing EC2
groups.
instance. Okay. So everything will be remain there. So I have to delete load balancer first. So yes, confirm. Then target group. So cloud train TLB is currently is used by the listener or by rule. So I cannot delete. Let's try to delete this one. So once it will be get deleted, I can delete this. Now I can delete it. That's it. Security group. Still that. So both are taking time. So that's why it is. One by one. Can't be deleted, associated with something. It's gone. This one gone. This is taking time. Let it be. I'll take care.
Okay.
Any further questions? The recording I'll publish on the YouTube. You can access from there anytime. Okay. So that's a main task. You have to deal with this one. This is the architecture that you always have to keep in mind. Okay, how the
Mm-hmm.
very first thing that you will do is to make the security group for uh yeah, this load balancer and auto scaling. Okay, then after you
Mm-hmm.
have to create the auto scaling group in which you will mention the kind of policy you are going to attach. In the same way, you can create load balancer. Okay, you can create separately and attach to this one, or while creating auto scaling, you can create a load balancer. Okay, both you can do. Policies and all, we have covered almost everything. Okay, when we will design the architecture, at that time we will again come back to this one so that everything will get more clear and clear. Right now, the question that you didn't get proper answer, that is the VPC subnet. What is VPC? What is subnet? So I'll take care of this one. In our next class, we'll jump to networking part. Okay, 2 or 3 days in VPC we may going to use, so that will be worth it. Okay, that will be totally worth it. Any further questions, guys?
Uh,
Stop the recording.
1 second.